Hey guys, I'm Layla. Today I am live on Twitch chat. We are going to be reading a lore story live. Twitch chat voted for Ragash. And if you guys didn't know, when you're actually in the champion screen, champion lore is right here. So we're going to read this live on stream right now. Ragash is a member of the Jinang Som diaspora, a religio-cultural union originally from Northwest Yakai. Often referred to by outsiders as lovers of purity, Jing Som demand attention to one's spiritual health as a constant way of life. In particular, a Jing must revere nature and abhor the harm of any living thing. Animals must never be eaten, slain, or abused, and their byproducts relied on only if there is no alternative for survival. Even plants must be treated with reverence. Crops are thanked for their sacrificial sustenance, and loggers must ask forgiveness from the trees they cut and make penance by planting more. Their aspiration of universal kindness even extends to insects and tiny mites. However, only innocent creatures are extended this kindness, and it is always permissible to fight against evil. Ragash, 7th of 10 children of two devout Jing Som, clove closely to this creed from childhood before his transformation, tempering his natural exuberance and mischievousness with mindfulness and restraint. Jing Som and their ways were tolerated until the outbreaks of persecution and malevolence that took place during the Age of Treachery. As the Red Crusade gathered force in Anhalt, the Maikaj autocracy began its ascendance in Yokai. Perhaps perceiving the rise of totalitarian misrule earlier than others, the Jing Som began a mass exodus just as the tide of public opinion was turning against them. But before it could escalate into violent purges, it proved to be a wise choice. The cruel demon-spawn-influenced autocrats taken over Yokai would have surely crushed them for daring to place the life of a flea or a cat on the same level as their own exalted personages. From this moment, in the tales of his people's history, Ragash learned the importance of discretion. A fight avoided is a fight already won. The Jing Som people braved an arduous journey across the Cloudspire Mountains to escape the growing danger in Yokai. When they arrived on the other side, they found the boglands of the Sorrow Lakes not empty, as they expected, but populated by the first groups of non-human exiles displaced by the Red Crusade. As more and more of the Jing Som settled there, so too did the trickle of frightened and traumatized orcs, ogrins, skinwalkers, and lizardmen from the west become a flood as the genocide intensified. The Jing Som were now among fellow exiles, rather than an intolerant majority group. But there came friction with their new neighbors nevertheless, for the crowded, tense, and often anarchic refugee camps bred petty conflicts constantly. As a result of occasional violent incidences between Jing Som and skinwalkers, the skinwalkers' curse afflicted a Jing for the first time in the recorded history, and their culture had to adjust to this frightening, yet to some of them intriguing, reality. It was a similar unfortunate encounter with a drunk and belligerent skinwalker that first changed Ragash himself. By coincidence, or some unconscious generational awareness of the possibility, the Jing Som strictors were idle for limiting the spontaneous rise of skinwalkers and preventing existing skinwalkers from accumulating more cursed souls. Their vegetarian diet and taboo against animal killing made it easier for Jing Som skinwalkers to remain calm, rational, and in control over their more bestial instincts. While no amount of prayer or practice can reverse the transformation suffered by the afflicted, they had discovered an ideal lifestyle for a skinwalker who aspired to drift as little as possible from their original self. Thus, it became dogma that skinwalkers could be Jing Som and vice versa without shame, and that the positive effect of the Jing Som lifestyle on skinwalkers was indicative of its overall spiritual benefits to everyone. Furthermore, it was resolved that Jing Som skinwalkers would be encouraged to train in martial arts to take advantage of their enhanced physiology for the good of community defense and the promotion of righteousness. Thus began the tradition of the Kanwa warrior monks, named after the place in the Sorrow Lakes the Jing Som first settled. Today, the Kanwa tradition is highly refined and enjoys modest but wide-reaching respect. Ragash, who was full of undirected energy even before his transformation, is exactly the kind of skinwalker the Kanwa guidance was designed for. He became a monk willingly, though cultural pressures would probably have made it inevitable. Warrior monks like him undertake dangerous but necessary missions against monsters, undead, outlaws, and other threats, as both a form of devotion and also fundraising for their order, since community leaders pay well and gratefully for their heroics. The Nine-Ring Demon and the Beast of Murdkor are two such threats Ragash has famously dispatched with his bog iron steel claws, and he stands ready to uphold his duty against the forces of spiritual decay that menace Teleria. Guys, this is the story for Ragash of the Skinwalkers. Drop me a comment down below of what you think of this lore story. Make sure you subscribe and like the video for more raid lore stories. Thanks for watching.